Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to a very special episode of DETV. Today we have Maria with us.
Hello.
We will be talking to Maria in just a minute about changes in the company, essentially. But first, we will do what we usually do, dive right into yesterday's newsletter. Oh, and at the end of today's episode, we're going to have a dice giveaway, so stick around for that. All right, let's dive into the newsletter. I've got it popping up in the middle here. Heir Apparent, another 10-piece set we dropped yesterday. Maria, is this your favorite set ever? Blue?
It's not my favorite set ever, but that's okay.
Maria, what's your favorite dice colors?
Um, it really depends what I'm using it for.
Fair.
So I have different dice sets that I put together for every character I play. You can actually kind of see behind me up here.
Oh, yeah.
Every character I play has 4 or 5 sets of dice with their specific color scheme.
This is right. So we played the Office campaign recently at Maria's house, and Maria actually had a collection of dice available for everybody who needed to borrow dice while we were there, and they're all matching and all very like palette building. That was a lot of fun.
Looks like I echo if you can.
Just has a lot of dice. What'd you say?
Everyone says I'm echoing really bad.
Oh, you are? Okay. Then let me try to fix that. Dun, dun, dun. Thank you for letting us know, everybody. I'm just gonna try to put on headphones. I'm sorry, we should have troubleshooted this earlier. That's my bad.
With me, I'm so dramatic.
Let me try plugging this in and see if that helps. Can I do this? Just 1 second, everyone. Sorry. What are these? Oh, nice. I remember these. Oh, great. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me see. Can people hear now?
Can you hear me now?
Both of us now? Give it a second. Chat's always takes a second to come in.
I believe in you.
Folkamus says great.
Okay.
Oh,
wonderful. I was just showing off my Mr. Blobby dice, which are nightmarish, and I love them, but they're just the cheese dice colored in a different color.
So if everyone wants a horrible nightmare to rock themselves to sleep at night, Google Mr. Blobby. If you don't know what that is yet, it is
I love him.
Supposed to be a good thing, I think. Originally designed to be normal.
Parody character that then they decided to treat like he was a real children's show character, I think.
Great, wonderful. Yeah.
Horrifying.
It's a vibe. And there's a Mr. Blobby theme park that's was decommissioned or something, is that right?
There were 2, and one of them failed so hard it actually bankrupted the town that it was built onto. I love him. He's horrible. Everything about him is cursed.
The curse that keeps on cursing. That's lovely.
My favorite.
Well, less cursed, our drop from yesterday, Heir Apparent. There's a little zoom close up here. And actually, I will go ahead and roll these so everyone can see the whole thing. Great set, swirly blues. I don't want to say simple. They're not simple. They've got a lot going on, but they're very foundational feeling. So dark royal blue, light blue swirled together, nice pearlescent effects, and then just a really nice complementary gold inking. So these are really pretty. I think in the newsletter I mentioned they'd be great for Air Genasi characters, maybe a paladin who's always about sunlight and goodness and whatever. So yeah, this is a cool set. Oh, also worth mentioning, I'll pull this back up, the code for this week, 10% off your order, is Chief. And it's Chief, and also make sure you spell check Chief before you type it in as a code, because I get it backwards all the time and it'll only work spelled correctly. And it is Chief this week because, this is a great segue, we are going to be talking to Maria, who is our new Chief Executive Officer at Dice Envy, aka CEO.
It's
Welcome,
me.
Maria.
Oh,
So let's talk
thanks.
about this change. Everyone, I think, was probably aware that David Darris, who is here in chat, by the way, if you want to talk to him, uh, it was our CEO slash founder for the longest time. And yeah, tell us, Maria, what happened earlier this year.
Um, Dave is really good at starting things and he loves like going on new adventures, especially business-wise. Um, there's a very long story where Dice Envy was almost a jerky, like a beef jerky sub box.
True story,
Um,
everyone.
so Dave's got a lot of really cool ideas, and so I think he's just kind of figuring out what his next adventure is. Uh, and so I got to take over instead. Um,
Very cool. Which we're all very excited about. Maria was basically de facto like team mom, head leader already for the longest time. Ever since she's come in, she's been like very well organized and on top of things and keeping us all in order. So for the rest of us, it's not a huge shift, but for Maria, obviously, she probably has a lot more to do now. So we're thankful that you're here to take those things on.
I'm still learning all the things I get to do now. It's pretty exciting. I'm
Yeah,
I'm still technically onboarding. I'm not fully
that's right.
CEO yet, but we are letting me use it because I said so.
Yeah. And also because the rest of us are just relying on you now completely 100%.
So
So,
no pressure. That's all
yeah,
good.
no pressure whatsoever. Yeah, so Dave's still going to be around, obviously, still our favorite founder, and obviously still part of the team, but he is looking for new adventures. So, Maria's just going to make sure that the Dice Envy ship is headed in the right direction while he does that. Yeah, designated adult. I think is that Ian or Dylan? I don't remember who Very Not a Robot is, but that's also what we call her in the office, designated adult. Yeah, so we're all happy to have her here. Now, interestingly enough, this transition started at the beginning of the year, right before absolute chaos in Los Angeles due to the fires that broke out. Is that right? It was like
Sure.
2 days before.
Yeah. So for those who
Oh no, she
are
froze.
unaware,
Oh, she's here. Okay.
Dice Envy CEO handoffs are super cursed. Oh no, did I
You
freeze? I'm
you froze
sorry.
for a second, but I
So for
think you're
those who are
back
not
now.
aware, great. Yeah, CEO handoffs at Dice Envy are very cursed. When Dave's first kid was born, he went on paternity leave and left our then CMO, Abria, in charge. And very shortly thereafter, a pandemic happened.
I'm sure everyone
So
remembers that.
that was good. That was wonderful timing. And then yeah, right about the time he started talking to me about taking over as CEO, all of LA was on fire.
Yeah.
And then now that I've like kind of really taken the reins, tariffs are happening and
Yeah.
life is exciting.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
deeply cursed, but we'll get through it.
and we're all very. We came through an entire like global pandemic, so we're all very like optimistic about being able to deal with this new economic upheaval. So that's a great segue. The whole reason that we wanted to have you here today was to add some solidity to the answers I've been trying to give people on Twitch stream so far concerning tariffs. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that, exactly what's happening to Dice Envy because of the tariffs and why.
Um, so we're still kind of learning ourselves. It's still pretty new. Um, we know they're coming. We don't know how they're coming. Are they going to call me? Are they going to send me an email? Are they going to leave a note on our door? We're hearing mixed reviews. So yeah, it's we've got numbers for what it's going to cost us, but we don't fully know how and when those numbers come due. Um, but other than that, we're kind of continuing on with business as planned. We're we had to raise our prices, which no one's ever happy about. So,
Yeah, we sent out a letter to our subscribers last week, specifically letting them know that the prices were going to be increasing this month for the subscription boxes. We are trying to keep them as tight as possible, but yeah, it was definitely a thing we had to do. And actually, I've gotten one person who reached out via customer service and noticed that a couple of our prices on the site as well had to go up. So we are trying to do that. Is that right? Like as as little as we can, but it is having to happen.
Yeah, like I said, because we have the numbers for what it's going to cost, we've done the math on what it's going to take to be able to restock. And so that's where you're seeing those numbers go up.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
but, we don't know how long the tariffs will be in effect. If we can, we'll put them back down. We just, this is where we're at. This is what we've had to do to kind of make it work. Um, we were also sort of already on a heel, or on our heels, I suppose,
Mm-hmm.
because we have not been keeping up with inflation. We've been trying to keep our numbers the same and just sort of letting it eat into profit. So now we are uh, all caught up. So even when if tariffs do go away, our prices will go down, but it'll go down to a point that makes sense for where we should have been for inflation, as opposed to right back to where we were.
Okay, and that's
Yeah.
good to know. That's something that we're keeping in mind is that we do hope to reduce our prices as far as the tariff impact goes, assuming that that gets reduced in the future.
Yeah,
Right.
nobody wants to be paying these prices forever.
Yeah, 100%.
Not on dice and not on anything else. So, but we'll see.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think one of the things I ran into when I was looking at other companies and how they're adjusting to this, and the answer so far is that they haven't yet, which is great for them. But we're expecting their situation to change also very soon. But I did notice across a lot of the companies that we look at or that we compare ourselves to, there's a lot of dice coming from China, essentially. What can you describe the difference between generic dice that someone might just be reselling on their site versus what we attempt to do with our dice?
Sure. So yeah, most dice are going to come from China because there's dice specific manufacturers who that's all they've been doing for years and years, and they're super good at what they do. So those dice manufacturers have essentially catalogs that you can shop out of and find designs that you like and then sell. So that's what a generic is it's something out of a catalog that anybody can stock. Uh, and we do. We sell some of those. Like I said, they're great at what they do. Um, we have our own molds with those manufacturers. So if we see something that we like, we'll get it made in our mold, or in the case of like polymer molds and stuff, we'll pick different colors. We'll be like, hey, we like this, make it with this instead, change this. Or sometimes we're just like, we have a crazy idea. Can you make these dice that look like this other thing that should never have been dice in the first place? I'm going to try and stop calling everything cursed, but many of our ideas are. I cannot say enough how frequently meat dice gets chanted in our office.
It's true.
Um, and I don't want that, but someday you will win.
We already
Uh,
got recently, I showed off the cheese dice last week from the sub box from last month. So I feel like we're getting closer.
like I said, one day you will win, but Jesus, meat dice. Um, so we also with metal dice we have a little bit more control over them because when you're molding plastic, you can only do so much and still have it roll like dice.
Hmm.
With metal dice, we can design those from the ground up. And so Rachel here and Dylan, they do a lot of our big heavy lift designs. And so that's when you get the Dice Envy originals. Um, and that's stuff that only we sell, and no one else can sell it unless they buy it from us and then resell it.
Great. And that's stuff
Um,
like we've gone over, I think, like Hive Mind, our bee themed dice, and um, Raven Queen, our Raven Queen sets, which have like a feather texture. That's all stuff that Dylan does. Basically, like he makes it in a computer and then sends it to our manufacturers, and then they convert that into a metal mold.
yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that's us like from the ground up, basically.
So we love doing those. Obviously, it makes us feel special and fancy. And then every now and then we'll find generic sets that we really like, and we'll sort of make them a little bit more our own. We'll add our font to them. A lot of the times we've got Dylan making Infinity D4s that will match them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you'll find like 7-piece versions of what we sell as an 8-piece set somewhere else. That usually means it started out as generic,
Right.
um, which is great.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so because China has all of these like fantastic dice makers, uh, America hasn't.
Yeah.
Um, so we've been really struggling to find places in the US that can help us. So right now we're sort of just continuing to use our Chinese manufacturers,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why prices have to go up. We do have, feelers out. We're actually working with a semi-local place that does polymer dice, and we're hoping that once we get up and running there, we'll be able to make some stuff more locally, and then that won't necessarily have to be as expensive. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we don't know for sure because labor costs are different. Um, how much money are we saving on shipping versus labor costs versus
Mm-hmm.
tariff? uh, how much more expensive, like, do the materials still come from China and we have to pay tariff on the materials? Like, all of that is so up in the air. And then also, we mentioned that we make those molds, sometimes for polymer, sometimes for metal. Mold prices are pretty expensive and it's a pretty long process. So, even while we're getting started with this and trying to find alternative suppliers, uh, it's gonna take a little bit to get off the ground.
Right.
Um, and right now we're seeing a little bit of supply chain interruption where you might have seen in the news recently, but not as many boats are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not as much freight is arriving in the US, and that's really gonna mess with my scheduling because, we do monthly sub boxes, which means I
Right.
have to get new dice in every month to send out to our subscribers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and
um,
now's a good time to mention too. I think we're the only, after the little bit of research that I did, we're the only company that's doing custom dice subscription boxes monthly. So those metal dice that we're putting out that are ours and ours alone, we're the only ones doing it. Which now we're running into maybe the reason why, but that's something that we're going to have to try to keep up with, because we are making new molds, doing new designs like every single month. So,
And again, with shipping slowing down, that's kind of putting, oh, I'm so sorry. I live right under a flight path, so if you can hear an
oh,
airplane,
I couldn't hear anything. I think you're okay.
great, love that. Um, yeah, because it's throwing off our shipping time, you know, we might have to adjust
Mm-hmm.
a little bit.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
yeah.
we love our unique designs as well, Decoy DW, and we're gonna try and keep going with those, but they might just be a little bit fewer a year than we
Mm-hmm.
would like right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of funny too. We, since all of this sort of chaos has started happening, I know something that gets brought up a lot in the office is how this year specifically, as far as sub box planning, sub box design, like the new dice designs and everything for Dice Envy's history was going really well. Like we were firing on all cylinders. We had all these new designs, getting done by Dylan and I. We're very excited about new advancements. We have a great, still advent calendar coming out this year. So we're like really jazzed, and then all this happens, and it was too good to be true.
Yeah,
But
if
we're
it's
gonna
not
get
us
through it.
messing up, somebody else is gonna mess
Yeah,
us up.
for us. Yeah. But yeah, but we are getting through it, and I do want to reiterate, and I know that you agree with me that we like our primary goal is to keep putting out awesome dice. So we're just gonna do what we can to make that happen, or continue to happen.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, I think that's. I mean, unless you can think of anything, and if there's any questions in the chat, please put them in. While Marie's here, it's a great time to get your answers. But I feel like that was about what we had talked about discussing. Um,
Um,
yeah, I think that was it. And I don't know, Maria, if there's anything else you want to share.
mm, no, I think that's it for the most part.
Okay, cool. I guess I wouldn't mind getting your feedback. I know you saw some samples come in recently for our plans for the Advent calendar this year. Do you have
Yeah.
any feedback you can share that's not too spoilery?
Mm. Uh, oh, I'm trying to think. There's just a lot of moving parts this year. There's a lot of uh in the very first year when we did Advent calendars, we were putting it together with, you know, very last minute. It was something that we came up with in, I don't know, August.
Yeah, I
And so
think
just
that's
kind of
right.
scraping it together last minute was very like, oh no, how are we going to do this? And we
Yeah.
didn't know it would be as popular as it was, and it was just a mess.
And that's how
And the
we found
second
Joni,
year,
right? Because we had to get Joni to come in and help us pack. Is that right?
I don't know if she was
Or maybe it was
first year or
second year.
second year. I
Yeah.
think she, no, I think she was first year
But it
because we
was
were,
like all hands on deck, and then we need some extra hands too. So we were
yeah.
like, friends,
Well,
please come
the
help.
the first year was really rough because we were assembling them in-house.
That's right.
So we had to like pop them open, put all the dice in, close
Yeah.
it. And so we were getting a lot of like dice falling in between the little
Yeah.
like dividers. And
Uh
it was,
huh.
like I said, a mess. Um, each year I feel like we get a little bit better. So obviously I'm hoping this is the best year so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you sent me a picture, a sample picture of the
Hmm.
boxes themselves because we got samples of what they're gonna look like, and
Hmm.
I'm stoked. They look great.
I
Great
agree.
print
Yeah.
job, and I'm very excited to get feedback on those too. I did have a question from Shrapnel24. Thank you for joining us, Shrapnel. First time in the chat. Um, they're asking about sold out designs, wondering how often we restock old designs on our site.
So old designs are interesting because we do have to kind of take into account how long it takes us to sell out. Dice often have minimum order quantities that are enormous.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to look at, was it popular enough to buy 2,000 more? Was it popular enough to buy 5,000 more? Or whatever that, because every different thing that we make has its own number like that. Um, we do try to restock pretty regularly, although right now we're going to be a little bit slower because everything is costing so much to get here that we kind of have to focus on some of the new stuff. But if there's stuff that you're interested in, we do have a button on the website that says like subscribe for notifications when we restock. And that's one of the things that we look at when we go to restock. So that's the best way to sort of vote your way into getting whatever you like that's sold out.
Mm-hmm. I also will
Um,
have people reach out to me in customer service and ask about specific sets, which you're more than welcome to do. And if I happen to know more or less about what's going on with those, I can always share that with you individually. And then I always make a note of it to the team, like, "Hey, we just got another Miami Dice request,"
and
which is
that's
a
one of our
common one.
favorite sets, and we
Yeah.
really want to do that one. But it's so yes, we have a list. Miami Dice is definitely, if it's not at the top, it's very close to it. Um, but yeah, I would say we look at it about quarterly
Mm-hmm.
as we figure out what we have money for. And right now, not a ton. I will tell you that.
I will say
Uh,
shrapnel too. It's our practice is to take the page off of the site if we know we're never going to restock it. Like if it just wasn't popular enough, or there's whatever, there was a manufacturing issue, now we can't do it anymore, that kind of thing. So if it's still on the site but out of stock, then there's still a chance. If you were following something and then it gets removed from the site, then and you can't find it anymore, then there's a good chance it won't come back. But that might help you, sort of figure out what to keep looking for. Maria, I have a question from Folk and Myth, who everyone should go follow, by the way. Folk and Myth runs, like, what do you call them? Real plays or
Actual place.
actual plays? Thank you.
Mhm.
And I've watched a couple of them, and they're great. Folk and Myth asks, "What's the greatest reward of your new job so far?"
Um, so I think the greatest reward has been saying no to David. I love you, Dave. But I was always the no person in the office anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But my no carries a little bit more weight now, and that's wonderful.
It's good. It's the power that you love. Let it,
All of
channel it.
it. Right, right, right. That won't corrupt absolutely or anything.
Joni confirms it was first year of Advents that she got a job, that she started working with us.
We're so glad.
Yeah, it was like she still is a lifesaver.
Mm.
She continues to
Also,
be a lifesaver.
I am not a fan of conventions, so I'm so glad that is firmly
Oh,
her problem now.
right. Yeah, yeah. Joni's on top of cons now, which is great. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum. Talking about the Advent. Everyone's excited. I am also excited. And I think that's it. Are there restock notifications on the website? Rivers Oblivion asks. So the restock notifications, if you go to the product page and it's out of stock, there'll be a little place to put in your email. And if you just type in your email and then hit notify me when it's restocked, that will do two things. It'll put you on a list that if it is restocked, you'll get an email, an automated email. And then it also gets added, like that number gets added to a pool that we can go into the app and look at and say, oh, there's 50 people signed up for restock notifications for this set. So that's how many people are interested, have voiced their interest in getting it
Also,
restocked.
pro tip, do that even if you think that we are out, because sometimes when we do our inventories, we find a few laying around and we'll
Mm-hmm.
add those back to the website. Because
Yeah.
we always hold on to a few in case something goes wrong with somebody's order. So even when we're sold out, there's often like one or two left. Um, so when we're reaching the end, we'll just put those up, and so you'll get that notification and be able to grab one of the last ones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very important. That's a really good point because sometimes it's not like we purchased a whole slew that, you'll have weeks to get. It'll be like 10 and then it's like, good luck.
Hmm.
Decoy DW asks, which David policies do you plan on viciously overturning immediately? Will you laugh while doing so?
I think the only really big one is Kickstarters. I was never a huge fan of them. Kickstarters are a problem, and it's something that we help other people with sometimes. But I was talking about the molding process. It takes like a month to make a mold for dice. If anything goes wrong, it can take up to another month, and you're not gonna know. So when you set deadlines for when you're gonna drop these like new things and something goes slightly wrong, the deadline then has to double.
Mm-hmm.
And people get really mad at you about
Yeah.
it.
I mean, rightfully so, people invest, but it becomes like a snowball of problem.
Yeah. And that's totally fair. So I'm not a huge fan just because it's a little bit more of additional spinning plates to keep track of. But that's something we just won't be doing. We also can do pre-sales through our site now,
Mm-hmm.
which means that we get to kind of cut out the middleman of Kickstarter who likes to take a percentage of those, which means that everything has to become more expensive for the customer on the end. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big
And
fan of
second
not
part of that
doing that.
question, did you laugh maniacally or otherwise while overturning that policy?
Internally, I think,
Fair.
yeah,
Fair, fair.
I'm a big internal mwahaha.
One quick question from Glitchy Jen.
Mhm.
Toxic Love is one of, if only, the sharp edge dice on the site. Any chance we'll see more sharp edge dice in the future?
Funny you mentioned that. I have a theory which I introduced to the office, and I call it the Jurassic Park theory. And that goes, if it's heavy, then it's expensive.
Hmm.
So, sharp edge dice cost almost exactly the same to make as a metal set, which means that we have to price them almost the same as a metal set.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't like paying for things that when they get them, they're very light.
They're very light. It's true.
So we end up getting a lot of guff for that. And it's not, I like them. I like sharp edge dice, but it's not always worth the bad press that they give to us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll never say never. Um, but unless there's something special that we want to do, it's not highly prioritized for us just
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, kind of negative feedback has led to that not being so great for us.
It's true. We also, I feel like we have developed a reputation for our metal dice, and I think that's might be part of it too. Is like our customers are, or everyone who's bought from us before, is like geared toward this like heavy, expensive feeling, like you said, set. And some of those, yeah, the sharp edges just like they like want to float. Whereas Dispel, who does like I think primarily sharp edge dice, that's like all they do. So their customers are more maybe used to their vibe when it comes to that.
Yeah, that's the other thing is Dispel is doing it so well, and we would be so far behind on designing to keep up with them that sometimes it's not worth it.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I will also say I think we're a six-person company. We're a very small company.
Yes.
And I do think you had mentioned earlier a lot of other companies haven't raised their prices yet. I think they probably have much bigger warehouses than we do.
Yeah, it seems like that. We don't have like the inside deets on most of the companies, but yeah, some of the moves that they make or don't make in this case make us think that they just have huge stock that they can rely on, which would be
And I love
nice.
that for them, but we
Yeah,
just don't have that kind of space.
yeah. But
But that's
we'll
okay.
do what we can do. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, never say never. And with the right project, I have a few projects that I'm trying to get off the ground, or was before I had to kind of derail those plans to
Hmm.
work on other stuff. But there's one that Rachel, I had you and Dylan working on some stuff for where
Hmm.
Sharp Edge might be really good for that. So
Actually, yeah, yeah. I guess we maybe can't say too much about that, but
we
you're
cannot.
absolutely
But
right. It would be
ooh,
really fitting. Yeah.
secrets. Yeah. Um, but
Cool. That's good to know. So sharp edges, not often, but not out.
yeah.
BB Dub is asking, is there a dice graveyard or Hall of Fame to allow old sets to get some new love? I feel like it wouldn't translate into reorders, BB Dub, but I like the idea of digging up some like old customer photos, and maybe we all have our own archives of old dice. Also, maybe we could do a little featurette, every once in a while to remember the awesome dice that were. Miami Dice, not one of them because it's definitely coming back, but maybe some other old beloveds. I know oftentimes when I think it's when you're pitching names to us in the office, we'll have like conversations about, oh, what was that old set called? That there was one that was like a little girl's birthday or something that always comes
It was
up.
Happy Birthday, Katie.
Happy birthday, Katie.
It's like
Yeah.
Katie's sixth birthday or something like
Right.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Before my
exactly.
time, for sure.
Yeah.
So we do have all of our old product photos.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the problem is that Dylan has gotten better since he started.
About labeling those.
Not only about labeling them, but just like white balance
Oh, sure.
and
The actual
making sure they look
photos.
consistent.
Yeah.
And Dylan is a perfectionist, and if we make him go back
Oh,
through the
it's true.
old
He would
photos,
hate
he will
that.
pull his eyeballs out.
He would hate
So,
that.
but yeah, we do actually have also all of our old social posts is probably the
Hmm.
best way that you could go through and find old dice styles.
Yeah, true, true. And I
But
kind
we
of like the
also,
idea of like a in memoriam sort of thing for our favorite sets that we know aren't
absolutely.
coming back.
And I would say that those are good, like on a year-to-year basis sort of thing, but a lot of the older styles we just can't get anymore. Some of the colors are no longer available. Some of the styles are no longer available. Some of the places that made them are fully closed, and other people just don't know that technique or whatever.
Right. Yeah,
So,
yeah. Our Three Goblins was a good example of that. We had three goblins made, and then basically just lost the ability to use that manufacturer, and then we had to like work for 2 years or something before we could get three kobolds made because we had to find someone who could do as good a job, basically.
yeah.
There's
So
definitely
there's a
limiting
lot of stuff where
factors.
we want to make it, but we have to jump through all the hoops of manufacturers needing to learn new processes in order to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Fair, fair. Jay Maloney, you're saying you have some from the bulk bag you'd be interested in knowing the backstory and old name of, so you'd enjoy a little guide. Um, it, until that little guide comes out, Jay Maloney, always feel free to send me a photo of anything you've gotten from us in the past, and I will happily track down. I'll, reach out to the OGs, Dave and Ian, and see if I can track down what it was called and why it was made, etc.
Mhm.
Always feel free to reach out. Um, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for showing up and asking questions. If anyone thinks of anything in the future, um, oh, thanks, Shrapnel. I appreciate that. Shrapnel's letting me know that we may have missed a tag on our Heir Apparent set because it's not showing up under 10-piece polymer dice sets.
Mm.
Totally likely. I have to do all those by hand, Shrapnel, so I appreciate the tag. And I will definitely follow up on that. Um, Thank you everybody in the chat. Thanks for showing up. Oh, let's do a dice giveaway. I'm like wrapping up. We're not through with the fun part yet. Hold on. Thank you, Maria, for showing up and for answering everyone's questions and
Anytime.
addressing the latest chaos.
As best as we can.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure we'll have more answers in the future when more things start actually happening, and becoming more of a routine. But I will definitely make sure to keep the chat posted on those things when those things happen. Yeah, let's do a dice giveaway. I'm gonna decide how many sets based on a D4, not this D4, based on an Infinity D4 roll,
There it is.
and then we will put a word in chat to sign up for a giveaway game. So first off is the roll, completely off camera, but it's a 3. So we're going to give away 3 sets of Heir Apparent. That's what this is for. Anybody who wants to participate in the initial giveaway here for the first set of Heir Apparent, go ahead and type in Chief into the chat. If you spell it wrong, I'll still count it, so it's okay. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to put Chief in the chat, and we'll do a count and we'll roll the appropriate die. Well, all right, lots of people today. That's great. Jay Maloney, was Heir Apparent a sub box a few months ago? Yes, it was. I believe it was December of last year. It was our 10-piece sub box set. And it came out with the set that we're going to announce in 2 weeks. So I'm not going to say what it is. All right, so let's see. I think we've got a bunch of responses here. You have time while I'm counting to add yours. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, ending with Bird Dog. 16. How should we do this, Maria?
I think you roll a d20, and if you get any of 17, 18, 19, or 20, you have to re-roll.
All right, that works. Oh, we got somebody at the end here, so that's 17. So an 18, a 19, or a 20 will mean a re-roll. There's the first roll, off camera again, but it's a 5. So I'm going to scroll back up. I think we have a question here from Mumquat in the meantime. How often do sub box sets become available to purchase? If you could answer,
sure.
Maria.
So we always buy extra sub box sets, just in case extra people sign up near the end of the month. And then we hold on to them for 3 months to make sure that we've got any stragglers and any replacements, and then anything that's left over, that's how you get our dice drops. So a lot of the sets that you see that are new and not just a different color or one of multiples of a color, a lot of those are old sub box sets. Or I shouldn't say old. They started life as sub box sets. Yeah. But yeah, so fairly frequently actually. Mm-hmm. It's very rare for us only to have enough for sub boxes because we try and plan ahead.
Mm-hmm. We try really hard. The winner of the first roll was first-time chatter Colpep MW. Colpep MW, congratulations! You get a free set of Heir Apparent. The way that you're gonna get that set is by emailing me at hello@diceenvy.com or rach, R-A-C-H, @diceenvy.com. Either way will work. And just let me know. Just say, hey, it's Colpep MW. I won the roll-off for Heir Apparent, and give me your shipping address, and we'll get that sent off to you. So congratulations, Colpep. All right, let's go ahead with another word call out. Maria, do you want to get this one?
How about air?
Air in the chat if you want to do it again. Everyone but Colpep, please. Go ahead and put air in the chat if you want to participate, and we'll get another count, and it'll probably be one less than we did last time.
I wanted to see which version of air was happening. It is AIR.
Oh, fair.
Heir Apparent is actually, I think we did spell it AIR in that, huh?
We did, yeah, but it's a play on Heir.
It is
Apparent.
HEIR, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll go ahead and read this real quick. The text that goes along, the little description text that goes along with the set. When it comes to matters of success or succession, breathe deeply, think of the future, and turn your sights on the air. It's just very, uplifting. I like it. Inflating. All right, let's do another count here, starting with Mr. Fluffer Nugget. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 17 with Glitchy coming in at the end. All right, so we got a new person. That's great. So we're going to roll off for the second set. I'm going to use the baby D20 this time. I don't know. Just mix it up. See what happens.
And I think someone had mentioned...
D20. It's definitely a standard D20.
I think someone had mentioned we could use 2 D8s, but we actually can't because then the lowest you could roll is a 2. So whoever was number 1 would just be out of luck. And that's unfortunate. So D20 it is.
All right, the result was 13, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is Rob Quake. Rob Quake, congratulations.
Hey.
The second winner, do you know Rob Quake, Maria?
I do not.
Oh, okay. The
I
way
was
you
just
said
excited
A
it
was
wasn't a
like,
name I
hey, it's
haven't seen a
Rob.
zillion times.
Fair, fair.
I do love our regulars, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, but
some of y'all have an awful lot of free
it's
dice.
true.
Which,
um,
again,
Go ahead.
I started working here because I kept winning dice naming competitions
That's
in the
right.
Twitch chat and getting a bunch of free dice.
Yeah, because the twins
So,
used to do like video game streams. Is that right? Or
so
was that
they
not the
did.
stream that you watched?
They did, but they do a weekly stream called like Talkin' Dice, I
Oh,
believe.
okay, okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know
And
they say that they had like they'd be like, what should we name this set? And then you would always come up with the good names.
it's not always. There were definitely other people winning sometimes, but I won a
So
lot.
yeah, if you're a regular here and you win enough free dice, maybe you'll eventually have a job at Dice Envy.
One day you too could be CEO.
Yeah,
Never say
it's
never.
just that's the path, isn't it? Um,
Wild.
Heir apparent for our friend. Oh God, I even just forgot who it
Oh,
was.
I'm so
It's Rob.
sorry.
It's Rob.
Rob Quake.
Rob Quake. Rob Quake. Congratulations. Please
Amazing.
reach out to me. Hello at diceenvy.com or rach R-A-C-H at diceenvy.com. Just be like, hey, it's Rob. I won the second heir apparent set, and give me your shipping address, and we'll get you squared away. All right. Last word in the chat to win the third and final heir apparent giveaway. Let's do CEO and celebrate Maria's new position. CEO in the
Thanks.
chat to win the third set of heir apparent 10-piece set, which is very pretty. I am excited for the dice release that came out with this in 2 weeks. It's one of my latest favorites. All right, lots of CEOs coming in.
Oh, amazing. Glad to hear you got a sub box. You'll have seen
Um,
some of these.
all right, here we go.
Oh, nice.
think I think we have gotten all the way down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think we're down to 15 now, which I think makes sense. I can never tell. All right, so 15 CEOs in the chat all have a shot here. Gonna roll the final chunky D20 to see who got it. This one is actually on the screen. Amazing. 7. So let's count down from the top with Rivers.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Legend Eric 728. You are our 7th CEO typer and the winner of the third set of heir apparent. Same story. Email hello at diceenvy.com or rach at diceenvy.com. Send me your shipping address and we'll get you squared away ASAP. All right, congrats, you guys. That was fun. Thank you everybody for participating. Thank you, Maria, again for being here and answering all of our burning questions. If anyone has any additional burning questions that they want to ask myself or Maria or anyone on the team, you can always reach out hello at diceenvy.com. It's great to see some new faces in the chat today. Welcome, everyone. Just so you know, it's usually just me on the stream. I'm here most Tuesdays, although actually I think I might have to be out next Tuesday, which would be a really good time to tell everybody that. Let me just check. Da-da-da-da. Yes, next Tuesday I'm going to be attending a Clavio Connect event, which is
exciting for
just,
you.
yeah, just going to be miserably boring and awkward, I'm sure, but really hopefully good for the company. So I will be busy doing that, everyone. Next week we will not have a stream, but the week after that we will have a stream, and that's when we'll be dropping those dice that I was talking about earlier. So very excited for that. Thank you again, Maria, for coming, and for the
Thanks
rest
for
of
having
you, I'll see you in 2 weeks on Tuesday at 3. And
We'll catch you all on the flip side.
yeah, happy rolling, everyone. Stay safe.